Hey Scorpio, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is our daily reading for June 24th, 2025, and I'm very excited to announce that channel memberships are now live for Distilled Tarot. So if you are looking for a new way to support the channel, get involved, get some cute, unique emoji badges designed by yours truly, and you get access to special perks and exclusive content for members only. So navigate over to the channel and sign up for memberships to get involved. I'd love to see you there. To start off our reading, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. We are talking about emotional manipulation today for Scorpio. Someone who sees a potential victim, sets their sights on them, tells them everything they want to hear, and then does their best to get what they want from their prey. The challenge is strength in reverse. Identifying the weaknesses in your prey correctly so that you don't try and contend with someone who could actually take you down, bring you harm. The challenge is that in order for a predator to be successful, their prey has to be weaker in the ways that the predator tries to attack. So if the prey is stronger or more evolved or more powerful in those ways that the predator tries to attack, then the attempt to attack is unsuccessful. Your focus is on the Hanged Man in reverse. Four of Swords. There's this energy of not wanting to take your eye off the ball. Or maybe the opposite, maybe not wanting to look at it at all. Avoiding the topic. This could be like, I don't have victim mentality. Don't try and blame the victim. You're victim blaming. Not everyone who is a victim does something to deserve it. Fully agree. That's not what I'm saying. The energy, the archetype of these tarot cards together is telling me that there's some sort of untapped potential for strength that is the challenge that needs to be overcome here. There's a weakness that's being exploited. And when you right that energy, then the weakness goes away and the exploitation is less possible, if not impossible. So I think before that strengthening the weakness can even take place, it requires looking at it and acknowledging that that's true. Now, in whatever way this is relevant for you, potentially in romantic connections or like toxic romantic partners, you're like, what have I done to invite this sort of toxic, maybe abusive behavior? And that's, I think, the message that's trying to come through, is asking that question. What are my weaknesses and vulnerabilities that I'm unaware of, that I might be wearing on my sleeve to these potential emotional manipulators who want to come and try to take advantage of my weaknesses and exploit it for their own personal gain? Can I admit or acknowledge that without taking on that negative connotation of victim blaming or taking on a victim mindset, and instead see it as an opportunity to empower myself and grow and evolve into someone who those toxic individuals wouldn't even be attracted to? Now, this isn't like a one-size-fits-all blanket statement for anything toxic or abusive. Not at all. I'm really trying to just do my best to relay the message the way that I'm feeling it. So my intention is always to be helpful. If you don't find this message to be helpful, if it feels off or wrong or triggering to you anyway, I mean this sincerely, then it's not for you, it's not your message. You don't have to take this in. I don't want anyone to take it in unless this is feeling like it's a positive thing for you. And you should trust yourself over me or anyone else online. I'm not telling you how you need to live, how you need to make your choices. This is definitely not everyone's cup of tea and everyone's story. And I mean that. Show me in the recent past what led up to this for Scorpio. We have Temperance in reverse. You placed a lot of faith and hope in something coming together that just never materialized. You feel wounded by that, confused. You feel like you did everything right, and you're not sure why didn't it come together? I showed up every day. I put in the work, 8 of Pentacles. And Spirit seemingly didn't come through on their end of the deal. I mean, if you're putting in the work and someone else has made this emotional commitment in bad faith, their heart was never in it to begin with, so it was like a faulty connection on their end. Doesn't matter what Spirit could have done to try and mold and shape and heal this connection. The other person was making a choice from the get-go to engage in this less than genuine behavior. Wasn't coming from a real place within them. And I say that because of the reversal of the Knight of Cups. That's like emotion coming from a shadow place guiding their actions. Your higher self perspective, one of the good things that can come from this is the 2 of Swords, and that is empowering oneself with the ability to choose. Saying, oh, I like the fact that it's me that gets to decide this. I take it on and I appreciate the authority and the responsibility that comes along with that. It feels empowering. It's not, I have to choose this. Why me? Why do I have to make the decision? It's more like, yeah, I get to choose. It's my choice. This may resonate for some of you, but this would fit if it's like a shift between the energy of dating with the intention of finding someone who will choose you versus dating with the intention of you being in the decision-making seat. like other people interviewing for a role with you. You're the decider. You're the one who gets to choose which one of these people has the honor of connecting with you. Show me the near future. How does this story evolve? Nope, that's like 10 cards. I'm not taking all of those. How does this story evolve for Scorpio? Losing interest, Page of Wands in reverse, rising up into a fuller potential of your own feminine expression with the Empress here at the bottom of the deck alludes to a real leveling up on your part. And then this Page of Wands in reverse is like things that used to really intrigue you and catch your interest and engage your curiosity before seems to be falling flat now. When faced with those sorts of things, shiny objects, twinkling lights, metaphors, you see them and you're like, not impressed. Okay, cool. That's a cool magic trick, dude. Like, can you see I'm busy? Bye. Thanks for all the love bombing, but you can go try that trick on someone else. It doesn't interest me. Show me what is going to impact the situation that you don't see coming. We have some sleep disturbances, perhaps. The Nine of Swords can be waking up in the middle of the night, not having restful sleep. I do really feel this is coming through strongly about sleep for some reason, not sleeping well. You might not really be consciously processing what you're going through, and so it's kind of coming through in your dreams. Maybe you're having some disturbing dreams or nightmares about this that you're trying to decipher. Other ways to interpret the Nine of Swords would be fears, doubts, insecurities, shame, regrets. If you're feeling, okay, let's say that you were resonating with the beginning of this reading, and likely if you've made it this far in the reading, you were, unless you're just rage watching me at this point. I can see this being the unexpected shift of weeding through complicated emotions about taking responsibility for what you could have done differently. And instead of blaming yourself and feeling guilty and ashamed, like, oh, I can tell you from a personal perspective, like, I've had a journey with narcissists, being attracted to that. I mean, if it wasn't obvious from the way I'm interpreting this reading, being attracted to the love bombing, the effusive shows of affection, believing like, yeah, this is the way I should be treated. I'm amazing. Of course you would want to be with me every day and tell me that I'm the love of your life after 2 weeks, right? It's a little like, whatever. I don't have to, it's a little naive in retrospect. But you deal with these like, okay, let me back up a little bit. There's feelings of self-doubt and shame and fear that comes along with accepting the responsibility of, okay, I could have seen that as a problem. The way that they treated me early on, there were many indications of problematic behavior that I didn't see. There were red flags that I was colorblind to. And that's scary. you want to believe that the other person is the villain and that you're the innocent victim when there's egregious behavior and even like toxic, abusive behavior within relationships, right? But at least for me, the way that I navigated that, as I learned more about the nature of like sociopathic, narcissistic tendencies of these like predatory energies in relationships, I went through a phase where I felt really like, how could I have known that? Like, I was so naive. I was so like ill-equipped for life. Anyways, to like make a long story short, I feel like part of what might surprise you is it did come out in the upright. The accompanying feelings of self-doubt and blaming yourself that comes sometimes part and parcel with that empowerment of, okay, I could have done things differently. But then you look back and apply that to your past self and you're like, I could have done things differently. It's my own goddamn fault that I went through all of that pain. It's a tricky, like it's a tightrope, right? Can you apply what you've learned now to your past self? Is that fair? So I think that's the surprise element that we're looking at. Have some grace for your past self. If you know better, you do better. But if you didn't know any better at the time, how could you expect your past self to know? You didn't know. Show me hopes and fears. We have the Emperor, and he was turning. I think this is saying you're afraid that you wouldn't recognize a good man if the best person in the world just materialized in front of you. You wouldn't know how to identify it. You wouldn't trust it. It's like, now that you've realized that your sensors were off in some way, it guided you into something that was painful. How can you trust that? So it's almost like you are afraid to hope for a good partner, for a divine masculine to show up. And you're maybe even having difficulty believing that exists. The end result, we have the Hierophant, which is stability. It is putting down roots. It's a firm foundation, something that has you feeling safe and secure. So this could be just your newfound understanding and belief system surrounding this topic. It could be really adhering rigidly to a set of principles, like pouring yourself into your religion, or in a different direction, this could be like forming a victims' rights organization that like supports battered women getting out of abusive households. There's something about either becoming involved with an institution, forming an institution, or adhering to something that is long-lasting and will stand the test of time. So those are some examples of how I could see that energy being relevant to the story, the way I've interpreted it for you. What advice do we have for Scorpio? How can Scorpio best navigate these energies for the best outcome possible? Okay. We have the Ace of Swords that has come out, and I use this as an Easter egg in my readings for those of you new to the channel. Sorry to those of you who have heard this a million times, but I like to explain it because there are always new people watching. When the Ace of Swords comes out in my spread in either the first position or the very last position of my spread, Spirit intends that to be used. Nope. They're correcting me. Allowing you the option to use that as an additional meaning to the reading. So not just in the context of this story, but if you entered this reading with a yes or no question in mind, or over the course of hearing this story and listening to the reading, you've thought, like, is it this or is it not? If there's a yes or no question that can be answered by Spirit, then it is Spirit's offer to answer this yes or no question for you through the Ace of Swords. And if it's in the upright, then it's a yes. If it's in the reverse, then it's a no. So if you want to pause the video and come up with a yes or no question, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to. It is a yes. Spirit is saying, whatever your question is, the answer is yes. Additional message that doesn't always come through on that, there will be some sort of evidence, some sort of vindication, clarity on the topic that's undeniable in the affirmative. So if you're waiting for some sort of clarity about something, the answer is yes, you will receive the clarity that you're seeking. Okay, so just within context of the reading, I think this is a similar interpretation. I think it's receiving a yes. I think it's feeling very clear wherever you've been confused about things. I also want to say it's making the choice, because in the Two of Swords, it's like, is it going to be this thing that I decide is more true, or that thing? It can't be both. Not forever. That would have you sitting on the fence, unable to move forward. Once you make the decision, you hold fast to this sort of truth and you allow that to arm you in a very empowering way moving forward. So this is like the sword of truth, the sword of clarity. So once you decide and move forward, I think you'll feel a lot more empowered and enabled to move forward in a way that you are strengthening whatever weaknesses you're identifying throughout this experience. So Scorpio, I hope this helped. I hope that you join me as a channel member if you're so inclined. I would love to see you there at the those private exclusive member events. Take care, and I will see you back tomorrow.